Hi, today we will learn Dutch or Netherlands about passive sentences. We already learned about this in the previous video, and this is the part 2, which is the normal complete version. I don't know, I kinda think it's complete or something like that. Let's do it. Here is the pattern that I don't know. Why I keep saying I don't know, it's just like, yeah, this is the pattern. We have ik, I. We have you as jij or je or u for someone you just met or for your senior or someone you respect. We call with u. We have he, hij, ze, zij, she, het is it, and this ze, zij, they, we, why, we, you, you guys. It's for you, but more than one person. So you guys. This part for present time. This part for the past time or the previous time. And here I have several stuff. I don't know. Why I keep saying I don't know? Just ik comes with ben and then heb. The jij, je, u with bent and hebt. This with is, heeft, with zijn, hebben. So these are the words. And for ik, we have the original or the basic word. I just say it like that. And for you, or for person that consists of one or one person, from the base word or the basic word, I keep saying that appears like this for ik or I. We just put the T for the verb at the end of the verb. There's something and then T. And with person that more than one or more, meer, we put the basic or the base word, the verb, with en at the end. With this have for has and is mr, the Netherlands or Dutch version, after we put the is or m or r or the has or have, we put the ge and then the verb. And we have also model or models which work like this. For person that consists of one, including I, for ik, you, and he, she, it, we use mag or moet for may and must. And for a person that more than one, they, we, you guys, we put the mogen or moeten for may and must. And there's also these models which work as specialty for you, jij, je, u. We use kunt, zult, wilt for can, shall, or will. And this wilt is want. Instead of will, because will in Dutch or Netherlands is zult, zal, zullen. And this wilt, will, willen is or are want. This one, these three works for this column, and the others that consist of one, let's say I or ik, hij, ze, zij, het, we use the kan, zal, will. And for person or subject that consists more than one, we use willen, kunnen, zullen. Yeah. As we see from, if we use modals or modal, after we use these words, we use the verb with en or an at the end. We already learned about this in the previous video. But now, how if we found this sentence as active sentence and we will make it into passive sentence? Of course, there's a replacement or changing position of the subject and the object, because that's the main rule for changing from active sentence into passive sentence. But of course, we also learned that any kind of sentence that comes with have or habt or heeft or hebben in active sentence, it becomes ben or bent or is or zijn in the passive sentence. So the have, it becomes the is. The has, it becomes the is or am or are. Don't forget the something. For sentence with the basic verb or the basic verb with t, the verb, or the basic with the en, the verb with the en, it depends which subject you use. This one, if the active with the basic or basic with t, basic verb with en, in the passive sentence we will use word for ik or I, and we will use the word. This is word become. We use word or we use worden. Become, becomes, word, worden. Same like here. Let's say this is basic or base, and then this one for subject that consists of one in, but excluding I or ik, we put the t at the end. Subject more than one, we use the en. It becomes worden. The verb itself will come at the end of the sentence with and then the verb. I will just draw the verb here, so you know that this is not only with doties, but with the verb. And for sentences with modals, the modal or the modals will also be there, but in passive sentence we also put the and the verb. Don't forget, we put worden. Yeah. This is for the present time, and this is for the past time. As we already learned about this in the previous videos, the past version is quite a bit easier in classification because they only divide it into two, which is subject that consists of one. There's no exception for I, there's no exception for you or something like that. It's just like one or more. We can see here, for one, we have the had or was, for have, and for was, I was, had, was. And we have also for they, we, and you guys, more than one. Ze, zij, we, wij, jullie. We have hadden, we have waren. The past verb, this is the verb, and we put the t or the d at the end of the verb. Or there's also verb that is kind of like exception. It's not based on rule or something like that. You just have to remember about that. So the t or the d something with de, something or onregelmatige. And for subject that more than one, ten, or something with den. And the onregelmatig, the no rules one, the one that you have to remember. Models, we have for subject that consists of one, we have the kon, zou, wou, mocht, moest. And we have for subject that more than one, for they, we, and you guys, we have konden, zouden, wouden, mochten, moesten. Similar or a bit same with the present. If we find sentence, active sentence with had or hadden in the passive order, it will be was or waren. And don't forget the verb itself, it becomes ge something, the verb. So the have or the had, it becomes was or waren. That's why I put the arrow here. And active sentence with verb that consists te or de, or the onregelmatig, it will be in passive one with werd for subject that consists of one, and then ge, the verb. From the ten, den, and onregelmatig, it will come with werden, and then ge, the verb. And the models that before it was kon, zou, wou, mocht, moest, or konden, etc. with the verb and an in active sentence. In passive sentence, it will be, the model will be there still, but the verb will come with ge, verb, and don't forget we add the woorden. Yeah. So this is another signs or pattern that I try to make here. F, ik, ja, je, u, something like this. This part, subject consists of one, and this is person, one. And for hat is thing. For they, the, zij, can be person, can be thing, can be person more than one, can be things. We, why, we, person. This is the active sentences pattern. We have the subject, and we have the verb, and we have the object here. Here, if the object thing, one or more than one, the object is thing, not human, not person, but thing or things. In the passive sentence, it becomes the one that was object, it becomes subject, it becomes here, it was here, the position was object, now the position becomes subject, whether it's one or more than one. And then we put the regulation that we already learned previous here. And here we have to see, instead of the verb that used for the was subject, we look at the subject, the new version of the subject, the subject that was object in the active sentence. Because now this was object, now it becomes subject here. So we have to see if this thing or if these things, what's the regulation for that? Instead of looking here, we look at if this one is head, what happens with head here? If this one z or zai, what happened? What we have to do with this one? We have to see here. So if it's head, of course it will use the word and the something, or it will use the have, or from have before or from before it becomes is, and something because it's head, or we use this one Mahmud or kan zal will because this is head, and the something, and then worden. That's why I put this is models. And don't forget we add the door or by. And here as object is the one who was as subject in the active sentence before. We see here, we put it here. The one that was subject here, in the passive sentence it becomes object here. It becomes verb something. But there's several words that doesn't come with something, words that or verbs that started with be, ver or ver and ont. We don't use the something, but they just come with be something, something, ver something, on something. We just put the verb there. We already learned about this one in the previous videos, about previous verb. And don't forget again, if we have models here, Mahmud, kunt, zult, will, kan, zal, will, or something like that, models, we use the same door, and then this one that was subject, then we put verb something. Don't forget the worden. This one for head. So for the zai here we use this section. That's why the example in the last video I made only for active sentence with object consists of thing, one or more than one, because if the object is not thing, it can be person, it will be like really abundantly, it's more than this. We can see here, this is the active sentence. We see the subject of course can same or similar from this one, can be any, same. Then this is the verb. After the verb is the object. In this case, the object is me or my for ik, jou, u, hem, haar, het, hen, ons, jullie. So it comes this same here, and then verb, and the object here. This is active sentence. Now we will make into passive sentence. The was object, now it becomes subject. So it was me or my, it becomes ik. If it was jou, it becomes je or jij. U, this one, hem. If in this active sentence hem, in the passive sentence it becomes hij. because it was object here, it becomes subject here. Yeah. And we have to see here the pattern that we already learned here. And this one used not based on subject here, no, but it based on it was object here. In the passive sentence, it becomes subject here. So we have to see the subject here in the passive sentence. Instead of this one, we have to see this one, which in the passive one, it becomes this. Now, we have to see which one. And we have to use the verb here that we already learned before. We put same here, door. And this one, the object is the one that was subject in the active sentence. Yeah, similar with this one. Of course, this one, same like this one, because now it stands for the object instead of the subject. It was subject and now it's object. Door, it cannot door ik, but it becomes door me or door my. Door hem, yeah, because it's object now. And the door is by. So this one, how to put it? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, can I put something, sign or so? I will put hashtag or so. Yeah, so you know that this hashtag works with the ones here. Okay, in this column. The words and verb something. Don't forget there's words or verbs that cannot work with cannot something, b something cannot, but it's b something or something cannot, ver on. It's like b ver on. It's just stand like that. And for model or models, we put the model or models. Door, by, and then the was subject, but it becomes object now. Of course, it was here, but it changed into which one if it stands for object. And don't forget the something, the verb, and then we add the warden. Okay. Thank you.